For more reaction, former New York Lieutenant Governor and Newsmax contributor Betsy McCoy, former Trump National Security Council Chief of Staff and Executive Secretary Fred Fleitz, plus partner at Flynn Zito Capital Management, Doug Flynn. Appreciate you all being here. Betsy, you are here in studio today. I appreciate it so much. You stopping by.
Thank you.
I want to point this out. So President Trump is using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, as pointed out. We've been running a trade deficit for nearly 50 years with countries at the tune of $1 trillion. Couldn't you make the argument it's an emergency? We need to fix this, and that's what President Trump is doing. And you just had 3 activist judges step in and say, we know economics better than you, or they're going to kick it over to Congress and really stall everything.
This is a really clear issue. Article 1, Section 8 invests the power over tariffs to Congress, but they have ceded it again and again ever since 1934, 1968. Again and again and again, they have passed laws saying, we don't want to touch these tariffs. We'll let the president do it, right? It's gotten to be that members of Congress just want to raise money and get reelected and leave all the hard decisions to the executive branch. Then, when something like this occurs and some of their constituents are riled up, they want to see it go to the court. It's Congress's job, and the president should be walking over to Congress this week and saying, let me see those tariffs. Let's pass a bill to put into statute what I have ordered.
You see how much guts it took for President Trump to do this. To the point you're making, the members of Congress, they didn't want to touch it with the 10-foot pole because they're scared of not getting reelected, and that's really what was going on here.
Right, and it's not just the tariffs, it's the non-tariff negotiation points, Betsy, and it's really necessary when it comes to our national security. It's a major point there, but earlier today, White House Economic Council Chair Kevin Hassett said this ruling wouldn't change any trade negotiations, and Caroline Leavitt was asked about that. Here's what she said.
Other countries around the world have faith in the negotiator-in-chief, President Donald J. Trump. And they also probably see how ridiculous this ruling is, and they understand that the administration is going to win, and we intend to win. We already filed an emergency appeal. We expect to fight this battle all the way to the Supreme Court. These other countries should also know, and they do know, that the president reserves other tariff authorities.
Fred, talk to us about the national security implications of other countries seeing our judicial system intervening with respect to President Trump negotiating on the world stage.
Well, it doesn't look good abroad that the U.S. government seems to be so fragmented and divided. It's no accident that there's been a record number of injunctions by courts to stop this president's policies, because the Democrats are court shopping, they're judge shopping, they're trying to engage in lawfare against the president's policies, and it sort of makes other countries wonder, how does anything get done in this country? But fortunately, the president does have other trade authorities, and if this particular court will not stay this decision, there will be another court that will stay it. The president will continue, and there's been good news today that the negotiations on trade continue despite this irresponsible decision, so I don't think anything's going to change.
Doug, talk about how this might impact the deals. The administration says it won't. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I always look at the market as the arbiter of what is going on out there, and you're looking at a long-term tariff and trade deal that usually takes months and months and sometimes years. You're watching it play out, and this is the on again, off again part of that, and maybe it's off again and then tomorrow it'll be back on again. And so the market is completely shrugged this off, and it opened up like, it's going to rally because they thought, oh, the Trump the tariffs are going to be off, and then it settled out and said, we're really no different than we were the day before. So let's get back to what this is really all about. It's about getting a better deal for the United States longer term. And that we're going to get there one way or the other. We're not going to end up with what we had before. We aren't certainly going to get the crazy high 140% tariffs, but, probably 10% we're going to have to do. And some companies are going to eat some of that. Some people are going to have to take care of some of that. And suppliers will get squeezed a little bit, but overall, that'll work its way in. And tariffs, unlike inflation, is a one-time bump. It's inflation that really kills you over the long haul. So we got to get adjusted to it, but we're watching it play out in real time. And the market is just saying today, this is really not a big deal like everyone thinks it's going to be. We're going to get through this.
Right. It's almost as if the market is baking in the fact that President Trump is going to win on appeal, and we know what's going to happen with respect to the tariffs. Betsy, I want to ask you also about the fact that we're seeing these judges intervene in this case and how it really affects the negotiations overall long term, and how everyday Americans are confused by what's going on, and it's just hurting their bottom line, too.
Well, first of all, negotiating on an international stage, of course, some negotiators in Europe, in Asia, for example, will think, well, maybe we don't have to take this president so seriously. In that sense, it's quite damaging. However, in the long run, Trump is going to prevail over this judicial activism. And I'm very confident that the Supreme Court, in just a few days, will render a decision on the very important issue of national injunctions. We already have 5 judges on the record against those injunctions, so that's a layup.
I also think, Betsy, there's a large portion of America today. Now, I know President Trump is going to fight this. He'll take it to the Supreme Court, but they're feeling like, why vote? Why go out and vote when you're going to have activist judges dictate from the bench economic policy here, even though President Trump was elected to do exactly what he is doing here? And I know a lot of people feel that way, so.
Yeah, they're not following the mandate. Doug, Fred, thank you so much for joining us. And Betsy, stay with us.